Hi, I'm going to show you how to do a modified diamond lace flat panel scarf. It's similar to the diamond lace, but I have done a few changes to make it a little bit different. This is what the scarf looks like. And you can see there's the little, very similar to the diamond lace, but it's not done quite the same. I'm working on a 1/2-inch gauge Cindy Wood Afghan square loom, and to start, for this scarf, you're just repeating 2 rows. What I did was, you want to do a cast on an even number of pegs. I've cast on 16 pegs for this current scarf. And I cast on from peg 16 to peg 1 so that I would be ready to work my first row starting with peg 1. So let me show you how this is done. You can do any cast on method that you like. I use the E-wrap because I'm going to join my ends back up and do an infinity scarf, but you could do a chain cast on or crochet. It's really your preference. Have fun, play around with it. I wanted to show you too the back side of the scarf in comparison. Both sides look different, but both are still very attractive. So this is the wrong side. You can see that it's quite a bit different. So, after you've cast on using your method of choice, you're just going to keep repeating these same 2 rows. And like I said, I did 16. You want to cast on an even number of pegs. Row 1, what we are going to do is we are going to U-wrap. We're going to not work the first peg because I'm creating a slip stitch edge where it's nice and braided. If you don't want to do a slip stitch edge, then just cast on less pegs. But I'm doing a slip stitch edge, so I'm going to show you how I do that. So first step is, now that we've cast on, peg 1 we're skipping, peg 2 we're going to U-wrap, peg 3 we're going to U-wrap, and peg 4 we're going to U-wrap. And you're just bringing the yarn and laying it around, not quite wrapping it all the way around. Now that we've U-wrapped those stitches, we're going to go back and we're going to work peg 2 and 3 in that set again. And we're doing the same sequence in 2 peg pairs. So we're bringing the working yarn behind from peg 4, back, in between pegs 2 and 3, then back in between pegs 3 and 4, and then wrapping, and it creates the diamond lace or the figure 8. Not sure if you can quite see that. Once you have that done, so again, I'll just show you that. You've U-wrapped peg 3 and 4, you're wrapping around that peg, and then you're going to just knit over both pegs. And what we've done to this 2 peg pairs, we're going to continue doing to the next. So now you're working yarns in between pegs 3 and 4, and we're going to start working, and we've worked this 2 peg pair. We've worked these 2 pegs. We're going to do the same thing on the next 2 pegs and the next 2 pegs. You're going to U-wrap both pegs in the next 2 sets. Then you're going to bring your yarn from behind to the front of that first peg in the set, in between the two, and back around. And then knit over. And then we're going to go on to the next two peg pairs. And I'm going to try to just zoom in a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So now I'm working on the next two pegs. You're going to U-wrap both pegs. Now you're going to bring your yarn back around, through, and wrap like you were doing the diamond lace or figure 8. Figure 8 is different than diamond lace. It crosses each other over and you knit them over. Now you go on to the next two pegs. And you knit both. And you do the same exact same thing. And you want to continue this for the first row. Until you have, now we're almost done here. I'll just keep on going. Oops, I'm getting out of frame there, sorry. Okay, well now we have two pegs remaining, and I played around with this a lot, trying to get the edges to match up with a nice slip stitch edge, and I have done various different methods. Encourage you that if you'd like, you could just keep doing that on the next two pegs. What I think that I'm finding that I just started that is looking the best as far as matching is to, for the last two pegs, on the last peg, we're going to U-wrap, and then we're going to E-wrap. And this just matches how we're going to end the row coming, the second row, a little bit better, so that's why I've done this. And then we're going to, oops, E-wrap that last peg. And that is how you do row 1. And now we're ready to start with row, sorry, my tripod's dropping. Now we're ready to start with our second row, and we're working as a flat panel. We're coming back the other direction. For the second row, we're not working the first peg because we're doing a slip stitch edge. So pegs 1 and 2, again, we're doing the same sequence like we did before, which is doing a knit 2 followed by a diamond lace on the same set of 2 pegs. I have it abbreviated K2/DLS so that it's all one. And then yarn is coming back from there. We're going to bring it up behind this peg 15, or the second peg going this way, and then behind the other peg, and then wrap. So it's making a figure 8 stitch, and then knit over. And we're going to continue doing that. Same exact thing to each next 2 sets. And now this helps, this makes it staggered, because the last row we started with a row of knit before we started the 2 or we started with a peg of knit before we started the 2 peg sequence. This row we're starting the 2 peg sequence right away. So this is going to stagger the diamond lace modified stitches. Not really quite sure what to call this, but that makes it so that you have the V's going in one direction one way and then the opposite the other, and they're not all lined up. If you do it where otherwise it would all just be right in a row, and would create this nice looking pattern. So again, and if you like I just did here now, I forgot what I did. If you forget what you did, I sometimes just backtrack. Okay, so I removed those because I wanted to make sure. So I'm going to U-wrap the next 2 pegs. And this will work with any loom that you'd like and any yarn. You just want to experiment. So once you U-wrap, you do the diamond lace stitch and then knit over. And then you move on to the next 2. U-wrap. Bring yarn around and to the front. Now it's in between the 2 pegs. So it first crosses like that, and then like that, and then it's towards your back of the loom. And then knit over. U-wrap both pegs, bring the yarn from behind to the front of the peg in the first, then towards the middle, towards the back in between the 2 peg pairs, back around through the front, and then over again. Sorry. So you complete that. Two stitch sequence for the second row until you reach the end here. Oops, getting out of. And then the last peg, we're simply going to E-wrap. And now we're ready to begin doing the first row like we did before. And you just keep repeating that row 1, row 2, back and forth until your desired length. And then bind off using your chosen method. I'm going to bring my cast on row back up onto the loom and join it to make it an infinity scarf. I have a video that shows how to do that, so feel free to check that out. So here I am again. I'm starting on the first row, row 1. You just keep repeating row 1 and 2. You're skipping peg 1, you're knitting the 3, and then you're doing the diamond lace or figure 8. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed my video. Please feel free to share this, experiment around with this. I'm going to have a written PDF with some pictures describing how this is done as well, free on my to download, which I will post a link for in the comment or in the details section, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, like and share, and thank you all very much.